But we're only going to play a very short bit of the clip, aren't we,
A
Shavy?
very, very short bit.
With the IMRO Awards tomorrow, we can't be taken off air just before the awards. That wouldn't be good for Ocean FM, would it?
It's time for this.
Ocean Drives films with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream and more. To your seat. Find out more at Eclipse.
It is time to join our man at the movies, the man that just can't stop the rain. Collie, good evening to you.
Why would anybody involved in a cinema want to stop the rain is the question. Well, we like a change. It's good weather, but we've had quite good weather. And we've so many movies to talk about this week. Might be the most ever.
Yes.
And to the point where I left out straight after this, Shamey, I'm going to be running straight down to launch night 2 of the Donegal Bay Film Festival. We had a brilliant night last night, showing movies from all over the country. And this week, or tonight, it's from the Northwest. And I know a couple of people, when we talked about it last week, asked about particularly Goller, which is the movie about the Mika Block scandal. It's won a load of awards recently and is getting a couple of showings in film festivals over Donegal. So that's one of the movies on tonight. And I should also mention our sister cinema in Lifford is showing it on Monday as well, because such has been the interest in this one short movie, because it's such a big issue. But we've comedies and everything. But look, that's on tonight. Everyone's welcome. Tickets available on the door at 8 o'clock. But I suppose we've so many, we better get to next week already.
Better get to it. And this week we're doing something special now. The kind of this has to be our feature movie, and it's great to have an Irish movie and a new Irish movie. And I love the title of this, Unholylands.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, me being an old dub working for a couple of people who went to college in Belfast, they went, Unholylands, you know Unholylands? I went, what? And they were going, it's Holylands where all the students stay. This is Unholylands. I went, I'm from Dublin. I did not actually know that. But I got the idea of this film straight away. And do you know what? We've such big Hollywood movies, but we decided let's go with a locally produced movie in the spirit of the festival. And well, I think you'll get an idea of the movie straight away when we play the clip. We're only going to play a very short bit of the clip, aren't we, Shavy?
A very, very short bit.
With the IMRO Awards tomorrow, we can't be taken off air just before the awards. That wouldn't be good for Ocean FM, would it? Okay, let's play the clip.
Bill Brennan, soon-to-be lawyer's son and stepson, hosting the biggest parties in the country. I want you to call off that party tonight.
It's better and better. It does indeed. And anyway, it looks fantastic. And how was it for you?
Yeah, you kind of get the sense of what it is there. And off air, you kind of said to me, oh, is it kind of like a Nordy train spotting? I would say more like Hangover or the In-Betweeners or those sort of movies. And like most generations had them. I had one called Better Off Dead when I was a teenager. Then, there's things like Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. So what it is, two lads, they're stepbrothers, and they're in law school. It's about to be their last night. They've been partying all the way through. They're going to have their biggest party ever. Their dad finds out and he says, I'm not giving you that job I promised you all your life if you go partying. And they go, no, Dad, we'll never have a party, but the party's going to happen anyway. And like, I went in, I wouldn't say skeptical, but it's not my cup of tea, this, but I ended up quite enjoying myself. Now, if I'm honest, not as much as I bet you I would have if I was from the North originally, or particularly if I was somewhere between the ages of 16 and 24. Because in the same way, and this is lost in you, Shamey, because you're still the party animal you were when you were 20 anyway. But I had so many brilliant nights out when I was 21 that would be my idea of hell now that I'm 52, right? Yeah. And I watching this movie, I was going, oh man, I would have loved that. And now I would hate to live next door to that. Do you know that way? And I think lots of people listening will have the same experience. It's good crack. It's well acted. It's well written. It's very broad. Like they're not subtle. Do you know what I mean? There's no joke left. I wonder how I could take it without them going, ha ha, honk, honk, honk. But that, again, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's made by a first-time director called Paddy Duffy. And I know his brother, the whole family are involved in this. You would not, only for I talk to the family, you wouldn't think this was a low-budget movie. Because it's slick and smart. And they have a couple of guest stars. James Nesbitt's in it. Nathan Carter is in it. Very funny, actually, in it. There's kind of a running joke about him. And, they obviously got these people on goodwill and just on the quality of the script. And, again, if I'm doing the critic thing, I think it's probably about 10 minutes too long. How many Hollywood movies do I say that about, Jamie, all the time?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a first-time filmmaker's mistake, kind of going, oh, I like this joke. And you go, yeah, but you'd already made, you need to move on a bit faster. Speaking of which, I better move on. But it's really good fun. It's good crack. It's rude and raucous. And I also wouldn't mention, there's a lady from Bleak who was in it as well, who passed away recently. And there's one of the reasons the Abbey Centre in Ballyshannon is doing Calendar Girls is their big play tonight and the other nights is because of this lady Rachel O'Connor, and she features in it, and that was nice to see as well. So it has a local touch as well, and well worth it. Again, possibly not, wouldn't you want to watch with your granny? As I always say, maybe your granny like it. You just don't want to be sitting beside her when she's watching it, because there's a lot of rude jokes, but it's good fun, and it's great to see this sort of movie is Irish. We could do it all. It doesn't have to always be a serious movie.
Absolutely. That's the Unholylands. And what's the opening on that?
That's out tomorrow. Tomorrow.
It's out
Everything
tomorrow.
we're talking about is open tomorrow.
Okay, that's on Unholylands. I'm wishing the lads the very best of luck with that. Right. Huge reaction to this one, the Smashing Machine. And, it's
Really
they're talking Oscars.
Yeah, and like we were kind of having a bit of fun yet last week when we said he's not The Rock in this one. He's very much Dwayne Johnson, wearing his glasses in the interviews. However, all the vibes are that, this is a really good and interesting story. Now, I'm not familiar with the story of Mark Kerr, who was an MMA fighter before McGregor, when it just started to get big and famous, but it was quite raw, the UFC.
Yes.
He was the first mega star, and he was doing really well and kind of crossing over, but he had problems with his marriage and addiction, as well as just, the toll this sort of combat sports take on a person. And there was a documentary made, which was apparently brilliant. The Rock saw it and said, I am going to play that role one day. And he plays it dead serious. Now, I have to say, I am not surprised that he is good in this, because there's a couple of movies, particularly one movie called Be Cool, which was the sequel to Get Shorty, which I love. Be Cool's a terrible movie, but he was really good in it, and he was playing a slightly different role. And I always thought he could do a proper acting role if he decided to do it. And because he has the charisma, he has the charm, and of course he has the build to be this guy, to look like an athlete. Emily Blunt stars with him, Oscar winner herself, brilliant actress. So there's really high caliber of people. I can't wait to see this. Now, unfortunately, they're not releasing it till tomorrow. So I'm going to go in about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and watch it. But it's strongly tipped for Oscar. It's definitely going to get an Oscar nominations. Yep. Whether he wins the Oscar, especially after Leonardo DiCaprio's performance last week in One Battle After Another, I don't know. And we've still yet to see Paul Mescal in Hamlet. But he's definitely going to be nominated. Well worth watching. Even if you don't like combat sports, which I don't, it's an interesting story.
Okay, so that's the Smashing Machine opening tomorrow. Right, you got a horror. You've always got a horror for me.
Yeah, but this is a horror with a difference. I have seen this. This one, it's kind of about American football. It's about this young quarterback who's almost going to make the grade, and the old quarterback invites him to a week to say, I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to show you how to be the best thing. But it gets very weird when he goes there. And it's almost like Faust. Like, it sort of, will you sell your soul to be famous? It goes very weird. Right. Yeah. I saw this 4 hours ago, and I still don't know what I think of it. But I will say, it was like nothing horror movies I've seen in ages. It's really stylish. There's loads of images. There's loads of stuff they don't explain. I think you're supposed to go away, because there's a lot about, American football and concussion. And I think there's even an element of it that you're going, is he still concussed? Or is this actually happening? Really weird, really interesting. It's one of those that's going to divide people. Some people are going to hate this, but I think some people really like. But if you want to see something really different this weekend, him is well worth watching. Really stylish, really special. You'll see nothing like it in the cinemas in the next couple of weeks. So odd but good.
Okay, odd but good. Okay, well, there's always a market for those horror films, as you keep telling me every week on the show. Now, who's this Taylor Swift? What's this all about?
Apparently she's an up-and-coming music star. So after her constant thing, because Taylor is the smartest, whatever about just not the biggest star, is the smartest star. Why just launch your stuff on YouTube when you can put it right in the movies? So we're having an album release party. So it's about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. Needless to say, I haven't watched this because Taylor Swift, it unlocks about 5 minutes before we show it. I show you the list of stuff we're allowed to say and not allowed to say for it, because they want this right. You cannot see it in any country in the world until 8 o'clock GMT tomorrow. In the
Wow.
States, 4 o'clock, you know, all the times. In Australia, they're putting on shows in the middle of the night because that's the time it shows. So it's her album launch. You're going to have some songs. You're going to have her talking about it. Probably is one for fans only. But let's face it, most people are mega fans. It's already sold out one screen tomorrow night. It's going to be really good crack. People are worried about the weather warning.
Right,
I'm worried about
fantastic.
the storm of Swifties coming
Swifties,
in. Yeah.
A great move on her behalf, you have to say.
I know,
Very
brilliant.
sharp, very sharp. She's very
Brilliant
sharp.
and control everything. Why let these other people, you know, control her career and so on? Do it yourself. That way you make sure you get the message out. I think she's brilliant.
Okay. Another horror, Twilight season continues, the saga.
Yeah.
You know, they can't make enough money.
Again, no, but what it is, it's 20 years since the books came out, so they're bringing them out. People mocked them at the time, but here's the truth. They're good movies, and people love them, and it's just because they tend to appeal to teenage girls. People will tend to mock them. I'll say what I always say on this one. Without teenage girls, the Beatles would have been nobody. It's only cool people with beards decided they liked them 10 years later. The Beatles' career was built by that. Just because teenage girls like it doesn't mean it's bad. Quite the opposite very often.
It's the Twilight. Anyway, I was just looking anyway. Interesting fact: they've grossed from the franchise 3.6 billion, not million, billion.
And they've that magic trick. Yeah, they've that magic trick that Taylor Swift has. People will go back to see them, and they'll go back to see them 15 years later, and they're fun.
Absolutely right. You got something for the kids.
Yeah, something for little kids. This would be a very good one for a kiddie's first trip, toddler's first trip to the cinema. It's Dora, except this time she's a magic mermaid. She's, you know, it's only about 55 minutes long, and it's priced that way like Peppa Pig was, so the whole family can go and see it, and it doesn't break the bank, especially if they're a little bit restless after 55 minutes, which probably would be. It's cute, it's sweet, there's kind of sing-alongs. I won't be watching this one now myself, but it's
something you'd review it for next week.
Very good for the grandkids, and it's nice. And it's nice to have something different.
Okay, before we let you go, Missed It Monday, you're bringing in the Roses.
Yeah, the Roses back, which you had a slow start, but then people really enjoyed. And I think the magic thing here was when people stopped comparing it to the Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas movie and just watched it on their own, they actually really enjoyed it. The film itself is good, but the 2 stars, particularly Olivia Colman, are only hilarious. Go watch her read the phone book, and it's well worth it. $5.50 for a Monday. Woo!
Okay. You're getting down. Festival on again tonight. Film festival.
Festival's on tonight. There's 7 local movies made here in the Northwest. $4.50 for a ticket. You can't go wrong. 2.5 hours entertainment and a Q&A afterwards.
Okay. All right. That is Collie on the movies. Till next Thursday.